All right, today we're going to dig into a puzzle that I think almost anyone who's ever worked in an organization will find, well, a little too familiar. Why is it that even the best, most well-thought-out systems just seem to fail over time?
I mean, think about it. You've probably seen this happen. A shiny new efficiency system gets rolled out. Maybe it's a new software or a new way to manage projects, or something classic like the 5S methodology for keeping things organized. And at first, there's all this energy, right? People go to the training, there's excitement, but then give it a few weeks, few months, and the old habits just start creeping back in. Pretty soon, that whole new system is nothing more than a poster on the wall that everyone ignores. So why? Why does this happen again and again?
Well, our first instinct, almost always, is to point fingers at the usual suspects. We say things like, oh, the system was just too complicated, or, the training really wasn't good enough. Sometimes we even say, well, the team just wasn't on board. We look everywhere for flaws in the process itself, thinking that if we could just find that one perfect methodology, it would finally stick.
But what if we're looking in completely the wrong place? What if the real reason these great systems fail has nothing to do with their design, but has everything to do with a fundamental piece of the puzzle we almost always forget about?
And there it is, so simple but so powerful. The success or failure of any system in the end doesn't really come down to the rules. It comes down to how it interacts with our very own human nature. The big takeaway here is that we have to stop trying to force people into a perfect system, and instead start designing systems that actually fit how people naturally behave.
Okay, so if that's the problem, how do we fix it?
Well, the solution isn't about creating more rules or stricter punishments. Nope, it's about something much more elegant, much more subtle. It's about what we call the power of a nudge.
So what exactly is a nudge? Well, first off, it is not a command. It's not a rule. Think of it more like a gentle push in the right direction. It's all about designing the environment so that the best choice is also the easiest choice. But, and this part is absolutely key, it never takes away your freedom to choose something else. It's basically creating a path of least resistance that just so happens to lead to a better outcome for everyone.
And you can really see the difference when you put the two approaches side by side. On one side, you've got mandates. These are your classic, top-down orders that just scream, you must do this. And what does that do? It often just makes people resist. But on the other side, you have nudges. They're subtle, they're indirect, and they're designed to work with our psychology, not against it. A mandate says, you must clean your desk. A nudge just puts a really convenient organizer right where you need it, making a clean desk the natural, easy thing to have. One feels like a restriction, the other actually feels like a help.
Now, using an approach like this is about aiming for something much, much bigger than just getting people to follow a few rules. The real goal here is to fundamentally change the day-to-day fabric of the workplace itself.
You can think of it like a journey. So, step one, you introduce the system, whatever it is, the rules, the procedures, but you don't stop there. Step two, you start applying these small, human-centric nudges that encourage people to adopt it. And over time, something amazing happens. People aren't just following the rules because they have to, they're doing it because it's just become the new normal, the default way things are done. And that is when you hit step three. A real, lasting, sustainable culture starts to take shape.
And this, right here, is the ultimate point. See, a system is kind of fragile. It can be broken, it can be ignored, it can be forgotten. But a culture is resilient. A culture is what people do when nobody is looking over their shoulder. So by using nudges, we're shifting our focus from just trying to get short-term compliance to actually building a long-term, self-sustaining culture of excellence.
So let's pull all of this together and quickly recap the big ideas we've talked about for making good systems actually last.
So here's what to remember. First, keeping a system going isn't really a process challenge. It is a human challenge. Second, the nudge is our best tool for that challenge. It's how we guide behavior without forcing it. And this whole approach, it's not about enforcing rules. It's about building a lasting culture. Because at the end of the day, the single most important key is to work with human nature. Because you are never, ever going to win a fight against it.
And that brings me to one final thought for you. Forget about these huge sweeping changes for just a minute. Based on everything we've just talked about, I want you to think about your own world, your work, your team, maybe even your own home. What's one small, simple, subtle nudge that you could introduce tomorrow that would make a positive behavior just a tiny bit easier for someone? Because that's where real, sustainable change always begins.